CSKA has contributed a lot to the Bulgarian sport. Big part from the world and Olympic medalists and champions are from CSKA. The feeling you get in the national team isn't quite the same. The feeling in CSKA was way more emotional. Good club, good appearances, strong team.
The authority of the club was there. The fight for the medals was between CSKA and the rest.
Everything was with a lot of desire, ambition, faith, labor continuously, daily. CSKA emitted respect. The name itself sounded differently when you mentioned for which club you are playing. The attitude of the people was different. CSKA is a big team.
The academic rowing club CSKA has vast customs in the construction of major champions. Rowing is one of the sports in which CSKA has made a huge contribution not only nationally but also globally. The most significant figures in the sport, Svetla Ocetova, Zdravka Yordunova and Rumjana Nekova, emerged precisely from the Red Club prior to conquering the world's tops in rowing.
Много е важно в кой отбор си. Не мисля, че сега, както често сменят клубната си принадлежност, се чувстват.
It is very important in which team you are. I don't think that the athletes feel better about themselves now that they frequently change their club affiliation. I think for us it was an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to be in this club, to keep this club's affiliation. Indeed, we kept this club's affiliation. No one ever thought to go to another team for any reason.
A good environment, an environment which is morally and ethically well placed. It creates confidence, which is the most important. The champions come from there, from the good base, foundation. The sport itself begins to develop in Bulgaria in the 1950s when the national section on boating and sailing was created. And only 3 years later, the first national championship in Burgas takes place, involving 107 men and 8 women. In the following years, the sport has developed rapidly, and in 1963, a separate federation of rowing was created. CSKA also developed a serious academic rowing from the very beginning and naturally conveys the champion spirit of their players to the national team. It gave me the opportunity afterwards to go abroad. It let the world get to know me, and it gave me the opportunity to work for a number of years abroad. It supported me. I am grateful to CSKA.
Wherever we would participate with this team, we would emit respect.
The first significant figure in the Army's men rowing is Verka Alexieva, who in 1967 wins the first medal for Bulgaria of major championships. This happens at the European Championship in Vichy, where the quartet school members Miglena Tosheva, Ekaterina Kostova, Verka Alexieva, Stoyka Genova take the bronze.
Не бяхме пътували на такъв форум европейски.
We hadn't traveled to such a forum, European nor worldwide. With desire, with hard work and ambition, we were all together. Almost all of us came from the countryside, not from Sofia, from the city, and we were taught to be hardworking so that the results are achieved.
Alexieva is a major figure during the first medal for Bulgaria at the World Cup. This happens in 1975 during the Championship of the Planet in Nottingham, where the quartet school in the lineup again, Verka Alexieva, Iskra Velinova, Troyanka Vladimirova and Svetla Gincheva reached the second place after Germany's boat.
Това бяха първите резултати, първите добри класирания в българското гребло.
That were the first good standings in the Bulgarian rowing. The other boats performed good as well. The quartet received a silver medal and the men's pair of Georgiev and Stoev. Back then it was regenerating, and that is when the better rankings of the Bulgarian rowing started.
Тогава започнаха по-добрите класирания на българското академично гребло.
Exactly in Nottingham, the star rises for the Army women Zdravka Yordunova and Svetla Ocetova, who reached the bronze in Paris school.
Хранихме се на една маса, тренирахме в една лодка, спяхме в една
We ate on the same table, we trained in the same boat, we slept in the same room, and we were more than 24 hours together. That doesn't even happen in families, and of course that there were moments in which we argued and threw newspapers to our heads. We would stop in the middle of the lake and we would fight what's correct, and each had her own position.
Се караме кое е правилното, всяка си имаше своя позиция.
Наистина бяха много щастливи, наистина те се чувстваха привилегировани да имат в
They were
отбора си.
truly very happy. They really felt privileged to have people like that on their team. They wanted to be in the same team, in the same boat, to be into the same boat with me. I saw that pleasure in their eyes. It was a pleasure for me as well to know that I can count on loyal teammates.
Удоволствие да знам, че мога да разчитам на верни съотборници.
Only a year later, both were the first Olympic title of Bulgarian rowing. Only a year later, both were the first Olympic title of Bulgarian rowing. It happens in the games in Monreal, where Titova and Yordanova are categorical in the pairs co.
Интересното беше първо, че ние тренирахме на едно езеро около 150 км.
The interesting thing was that we practiced on a lake at about 150 kilometers from Montreal, and it was all dotted with villas. It was July holiday period. We met different people, and sometimes we would gently skip training and get to a pier and wait for the time to pass. I hope my coaches aren't listening right now, and as we met with people from the villas.
Чакаме да мине времето, дано не ме слушат сега треньорите. И се запознавахме така с хората от вилите.
Afterwards, when they told us that we won the medals, the entire lake blew up, like we were some of their
Ни
racers.
разказаха, когато сме спечелили медала, цялото езеро е гръмнало, все едно, че сме били тяхни състезатели.
Имаше моменти, в които дори когато сме отивали на международни състезания,
There were times where, even when we went to the international competitions with 3, 4 or 5 people in the same discipline from Bulgaria, and the first person from a foreign team was after all of us. That was evidence, firstly, that the strong competition made us a lot better competitors, and we proved that we are also better than our opponents abroad.
А освен това се оказваше, че сме по-добри от съперниците си в чужбина.
The title in Monreal is reached by Svetlana Titova and Zdravka Yordanova with a bit of cunning.
Направихме фалстарт, малко нарочно. То се усети, че е малко.
We made a false start on purpose. It felt like it was on purpose. The president of the federation came, he objurgated, shouted, and we launched the second time normally. We generally were very well established and we had very nice sync.
The quartet featuring Alexieva reaches the prestigious 4th place. Yordanova and Titova a year later reach a silver medal at the World Championships in Amsterdam, and the year after that they step on the world top of the championship in New Zealand. During the next championship of the planet, Titova and Yordanova have the opportunity to defend their success from New Zealand, but in the Slovenian resort of Bled, curious thing happens.
Най-силно се спомням все пак не златен медал, а един сребърен медал, който беше почти.
I most strongly remember not a gold medal, but a silver medal, which was almost golden. During the first World Cup in Bled in 1979, the photo finish announced firstly that we were on first place, and after a few minutes, the dashboard changed, and on the dashboard they put East Germans in front of us. Gold medals for them. Rarely have I felt such rage. I beat the boat with a fist, and I was that angry.
The wrath of Svetlana Titova is accompanied by a great deal of disappointment, mostly at home.
И след това, като се прибрахме в София, на летището, като ни почнаха.
And then, when we got back to the airport in Sofia, the customs officials first began. What do? You only eat here, you get financed. The fact that we have taken the silver medal was a big shame for them. And then we became crooked because we really felt bad. We didn't make it by so little, a few hundredths of a second, but we didn't do it. The second place is the most miserable place.
Но не успяхме. Това е. Второто място си е най-нещастното място.
Svetlana Titova and Zdravka Yordanova remained true to the CSKA logo. The two recorded a number of successes with the red team.
За мен беше по-добре да съм там, на Панчарево.
For me, it was honor to be there at Pancharevo in workouts with the team rather than being elsewhere, perhaps to saunter aimlessly or what my classmates were doing with their freedom. I think I was in the best position.
На мен ми се струва, че аз съм била в по-добрата позиция.
Нямам чувството, че отиване по дискотеки или...
I don't feel like going to clubs or walking on the streets would be more interesting or would give this emotion that the sport gives and the teamwork.
Повече щяха да ми дадат от това, тази емоция, която спортът дава и работата в екип.
CSKA was the most powerful club and the brand CSKA had been quite appealing for everyone. CSKA was a very strong team. In order to win more titles, they were rushing us in as many disciplines as possible. I remember a Republican Championship during which I participated in 4 disciplines. They either took me with the skiff or they took Zdravka and me for the doubles or the quartet with the motorboat right after we finished in order to bring us to another boat, so we can start again.
Там лодката ни чака, за да стартираме наново.
За мен това беше и дом, и семейство.
For me, this is also a home and a family. This part of my life is very dear to me because I felt well in this team.
Чувствах добре в този отбор.
In the 80s, CSKA gives Bulgaria and the world a new world star. Under the leadership of Verka Alexieva starts the glamorous career of Rumjana Neikova.
И умееше да копира.
She copied everything I said, everything I showed in the technique, how it should be done. She was very absorbing.
Да се направи тя като попивателна.
In the beginning, she didn't compete alone, but in a team of 2 or 4 rowers in a boat.
Умееше технически, нали, добре седеше в лодката.
She was technically good, she was sitting well in the boat. She can ride on waves because there is often strong wind. The waves are not creating problems for her. The weather conditions did not interfere with her technique of rowing and her results.
На техниката и на гребането и на резултатите.
The first success of Rumjana comes in 1989 by becoming world vice champion for girls, and the next year she became a world champion for girls.
С екипа на CSKA имам 3 участия на световни първенства.
With the team of CSKA, I have 3 performances of World Championships, the 1989 one, where we ranked on 7th place with my partner Gergana Cvetkova, the 2nd place and the 1st place in the World Championships for the juniors. Back then there was also international competitions. They were called Friendship Tournament, only for socialist countries. There we also got 1st place and I think 2 or 3 Balkan titles.
Мисля, че 2 или 3 балкански титли.
In 2002-2003, Rumjana Neikova wins gold medals at the World Championship in Seville and Milan, and became the only Bulgarian with 2 gold medals at the World Championships in rowing. At the championship in 2002, she set a world record with skiff. At the Olympic Games in Athens, however, she remained 3rd.
CSKA и тази възраст.
CSKA and that age where I was managed to save me from the sport, to preserve me, let me light.
At the World Cup in 2005, Rumjana Neikova and Milena Markova won silver medals in double sculls. At the World Cup in Munich in 2007, she won the silver medal. A month later, she won the title at the European Championships in Poznan. After her 5th Olympics, Summer Olympics in Beijing, she became Olympic champion in the skiff. Rowing club CSKA continued its activity at Pancharevo Lake under the leadership of Emil Manolov and coach Ilyana Savchova.